Here we go.
Okay.
Well, hi. Welcome to Andeana Hats. We are literally going to be broadcasting. Hey, everybody. I'm broadcasting from Miami. We are having Kelly join from my loft in Venice Beach, California, where all of our hats live at the moment, our live work loft. So she's joining us right now. Hey, we've got Hats, my co-founder. Hold on, let me turn my volume down. There we go. So there's the echo. Co-founder down in Peru. Hello, Pats. Okay, so I'm just getting everybody on here.
What was your volume on your phone?
Yeah, that was my volume on my phone. Sorry about that.
I thought that was mine. I was like, am I changing my volume?
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so welcome, you guys. So this is kind of a coordinated effort because we are all quarantined in very far away places. Pats is in Peru. I'm in Miami, but normally I live in Venice Beach. And Kelly is here in my actual house in Venice Beach. So why is this volume not all the way down? Go down. It doesn't want to go all the way down. Okay. So right now we wanted to, this is our very first virtual fair. So thank you so much. And I'm going to be switching back and forth between a presentation about our hats and what we do. But basically, oh, hey, Danielle. Danielle is our total huge Andeana Hats fan. She won the award, the trophy for owning the most Andeana hats. There she is.
Yes. I'm super special, guys. We'll talk about me later. Cheers, happy Friday.
Oh my gosh,
Thank you. But Danielle, you might have to show off your hats that you just had. So Danielle just had a hat party at her house during quarantine, which is social distancing Andeana hat party. Very excited to be hosting more of those. But basically, I wanted to talk about what we're doing, and Kelly's there and showcasing that we basically do have hats. So we were able to luckily get a lot of the hats out of Peru right the day that the borders were all shutting down. Pats was there, was able to package them up and give them to me. It was a little crazy. And right now the borders are locked down in Peru. So we have a bunch of hats down there that can't come up, and all of our new intention bands that can't make it up just yet. So we have good things to look forward to, but in the meantime, yes, in the meantime, we do have I don't know, I guess a few hundred hats that we have in stock. Okay, so I wanted to basically get started and chat with you, Pats, because you probably have the least amount of time, and talk to us about what's going on in Peru right now with the women and show us some of the new bands that we are looking forward to getting.
Hi everyone, how are you? So as you guys know, we work with an NGO called Awamaki, and they basically work with various remote communities in the Andes. And we make all of our intention bands with them. So we just recently, before lockdown, we created 3 new ones. One of is the one that Laura is wearing right now.
Purpose.
Purpose. And this band symbolizes a river, and it's called Mayu, because Mayu means river. And basically the idea of this band was a river always has its purpose. It's always going to flow in one direction. So this is Purpose.
So before you show the band, I'm going to explain to Melissa and Gabrielle, who just joined, that what's so special about our hats is that all of our bands are mix and matchable. You can pull them off. They're all woven intention bands made by amazing Quechua women in the Andes Mountains. And so their language is actually a woven and an oral language. It's not a written language. So the idea is that we have 9 different intention bands with all different purposes, and we'll say that in a second, different meanings. And you can choose your own intention. So I chose Purpose for my intention today. I don't know which one you're wearing. Are you wearing Love? I know that Danielle is wearing Love.
No, yeah. I'm wearing another new Resilience.
Come closer so we can see that one. So that one's Resilience is the blue one, the coca leaf.
Yeah. Here.
And let me explain that one. So the Resilience, the reason why we use the coca leaf for Resilience is because the plant itself is resilient. It can grow in all different altitudes, and and in really harsh conditions, but also the coca leaf is used to help people to manage those conditions in high altitude themselves and not feeling sick. So when you drink coca tea or you chew on it, it actually helps you with altitude sickness. So to them, that plant represents resilience. And then show us the third one, which is my favorite one, and the new one you're getting.
This one's pretty amazing. It's our most colorful one.
There you go.
And this is happiness. It's Aini. So basically in Andean culture, happiness means community, gratitude, helping each other. So in this textile, you basically see a pattern of 3 dots, and you can always see that one dot is being supported by 2 dots. And that comes from the philosophy of you helping each other out as a community, holding each other up in order to be happy. So this is our happiness band, Aini. And it's funny because it's kind of, it relates to what we're all right now, that even though we're like so far apart, like we're all, you know, supporting each other, and we need to keep each other up in order to get through what we're going through now. So I love this band.
That.
Happiness.
So pretty.
Amen. Sorry, Pat says in Peru doesn't have the best Wi-Fi, so we're basically
Yeah, you guys, I was trying to tell you, Laura, that I'm having terrible connection right now. So if I'm kind of cutting in and out, sorry.
Well, I'll take over. Let me talk about the band. So if you want to just put yourself on mute,
I can show them.
Yeah, I'll show them right now.
Talk about them.
Yeah. So why don't we why don't you lift up the bands and talk about them, Kelly, since you're right there.
Which one?
Start with any of them and just show the bands. Actually, yeah, put it up closer so we can see it and show the actual band. To the camera, to the Zoom camera.
Oh, right, Zoom.
Yeah. Okay, so perfect. So this is Munai, which is love. And it's the very first pattern that a mother teaches, and also show it to the Instagram camera too, if you can, Kelly. That's the first pattern that a mother teaches her daughter how to weave. And the weaving is passed down from the women in their culture. And so we decided to name all of our bands after the Quechua name for the meaning. So Munai means love, and it's basically like a mother's love. And the next band, let's see, that's love. Let's switch over to pick a different one. We've got, okay, I love this one, Sacha, which is connection. So this one, if you want to show it to the Instagram one too, Kelly, this one is connection band, and it's the branches of the tree of life. And the reason why the Quechua people feel that this is connection is that the tree of life has its roots in the underworld. So they believe in the 3 stages of underworld, earth, and heaven, which is also past, present, and future. And then they believe that the tree of life connects all of those. So the branches reach into heaven, the trunk is rooted literally like in the present, and then the roots are going into the underworld. And so it really is, the tree of life represents connecting you on all the spiritual realms. So that's connection. Okay, the next one is, let's see. Okay, I love this one, Apu, which is power. Show it us to here, yeah. So that is, if you hold it sideways, Kelly, is the mountains. And so this pattern, Apu actually means a few different things, but Apu means mountain. It also means God, and it also means strength in Quechua. So, which is kind of all, they believe the mountains are gods. Each mountain they pray to every day. Remember when we were in Peru, Kelly, and we literally like pouring out our drinks, the chicha to our homies, to all the different mountains. Yeah, we basically had to pour out a drink to all the mountains around us before we could take our own drink. And they believe that the mountains are gods, that they're the closest thing to heaven, they touch the sky. And then, so it also means strength, because they're very like strong and rooted. So that band is just about having either spiritual strength or physical strength, power, whether it's spiritual or not. So I love that band. All right, and the next one is, we're just going through and talking about our intention bands and what makes our hats so special for all of you guys on Instagram. Let's see. Okay, so show it to the Instagram then, Kelly. So that's protection. And what's really cool about the protection pattern is that every ancient culture has some form of the evil eye pattern. You know, like in Greece or the Middle East or wherever, even in other Asian cultures and stuff, they have a form of the evil eye. And basically it is protecting your third eye chakra. Hats cover your third eye chakra. It is protecting your energy. It's also warding off bad energy. So it's creating good luck for you. It's not like a bad connotation. So that one we decided, they're like fighter jets that just flew over. So it got really loud really quick, sorry. Anyway, but yeah, that's our protection band. Okay, pick another one. It's like a fun, I love talking about these bands. They've all been so, oh yeah, okay, so Vitality. So she's wearing I haven't been saying the name, sorry, Yaku, which is Vitality. And this band, if you show your actual hat band, Kelly, like tilt your head, yeah. So those are supposed to be lakes. And so the idea with Vitality and like being healthy, and especially right now, Vitality is really important, stay healthy and live a long life. They believe that if they have, how do they explain it, Pat? So if they have something in the lake, it makes it healthy. That was like why they wove some sort of design inside of the lake. It makes you
yeah, I think just with water, a full lake or river that's filled with water means it's healthy, it's vital, and yeah. So a full healthy lake.
Yeah. So basically the Vitality is really important because first of all, I love that one with the gray. It looks so good. It's really bomb. But yeah, so Vitality is long life, prosperity, health. And then what's the next band that we have? I love Yaku, the name for that one too. Okay, so this is the Puma band, which is literally balance. So show us on Instagram too. Okay, so that design is the Puma claw. And so they believe that the god of the earth, we were talking about past, present, future, and the underworld, the actual god of the earth is the Puma, to the Quechua people, and that they literally grounds you into the earth, makes you enjoy the present. You're rooted into the present. You're, you know, you have the strength of being grounded. So that band is really important for balance. We all need balance in our lives. That one, I think you have that one too, Danielle, right? It looks really good on the red hat, but right now you're wearing a different one.
I do.
Yeah, so the balance band I love. I think everybody could use balance. I think that word means a lot of different things to different people.
This is the first band you got me. You're like,
is it? I'm like, girl, you need some balance. Because let's be honest. I'm just, you know, baby steps. Okay, so, all right, so all right, here we go. So now we got the Tika one, put in it, very cool. So that is Tika. It goes on our floppy hats. And the Tika is actually the potato flower. And the potato is super, super important to the Quechua people. And the reason the band means abundance. The potato is very, very abundant in Peru, and it's also really, really important to their culture. Like they literally carry potatoes. Remember when we were on that hike, Pat? So there's like people carry potatoes in their pockets just to like live off of and snack on. And they grow like 4,000 types of potatoes, and it's such an important. Yeah. Literally, they would like not survive.
They also need a lot. Yeah, they need a lot of carbs in high altitudes because your body like processes a lot of sugar really quick. So that's why most of the food up there is very like heavy in carbs.
Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, the one place where you can just pack on the carbs is in the high Andes Mountains. So everybody, FYI, right now we are not burning them as quickly. Let's just be honest. And especially in quarantine, I'm like, even looking, I'm like, oh man, I gotta get back in the gym. Okay. It's funny because like Matt is just glaring at me in this with his hat on and the cigar where he's like, go work out. I feel like. Okay, so wait, what other band are we missing? That was it. Is it? Okay, so the 3 new bands and that one, perfect. So basically I want to.
No, we didn't do the blue one.
The blue one? Yeah, we did. We did Resilience. I think you must have missed that one. The one that's on her head. Yeah. So Danielle. I want Danielle, actually Kelly, I'm gonna have you jump off for 1 second on Instagram Live, and I'm gonna have Danielle join.
Do you just kick me off, or do I do it?
I think you just click that X. I'm like, bye-bye, just for now.
Okay. Leave.
Okay, I'm gonna have Danielle, who is gonna join us from San Francisco, and she just literally won the trophy for owning the most Andeana hats. She's been hosting quarantine hat parties and been our number one fan. So I'm just gonna have her join really quick. Hold on. All right, Danielle, come join. Oop, I know I'm ahead of all of you guys. I have a margarita, but it is late enough.
Hold on.
Okay. Here you go. Show off your hat. It looks so good.
Oh yes. I'm actually in quarantine right now, so it's a little hard for me to have all my hats with me, but yeah.
Turn your phone volume down.
Feedback?
Yeah,
Okay.
turn your phone volume all the way down.
I'm trying. It doesn't like it.
I don't know why. I know, I had that same issue. I didn't want to go all the way down. Oh,
Just hold it over here.
Like that. Give me a little bit of feedback. It's fine. We're trying to manage technology right now.
I know. Here, let me try.
Just turn your computer volume down for right now.
Okay. Does that work?
Yeah. Just keep your one that has to be up and one has to be down. So just put your computer.
I'm working on it. You know, I used to work in tech support, and I'm failing right now, epically. Okay.
I'm still like hearing it. Wait.
There, is that better?
Slightly, but we'll manage it. Okay, so tell us about how you did your hat party.
So in respecting the social distancing, we definitely had to bring out gloves and masks, set up the hats so that all of them were separated and people could come in and put on gloves and masks and, you know, be sanitary about it, and then try them on. Obviously I'm obsessed with Laura's hats. If I won this ridiculous award, which she so kindly decided to send to me. I mean, look at this.
I found a website that makes custom trophies, and she literally was like, this week, she was like, I should get a trophy for buying the most Andeana hats. And I'm like, yes, you should. And so I just went online and had one made. So there you go. You win the trophy, Danielle.
Well, if anybody surpasses me, I'm happy to mail them the epic trophy, since I own 5 hats. I don't even know how that happened. I was telling Laura originally when she was telling me about Andeana hats, I was like, I love the idea. I'm just not really a hat person. And then 5 hats later, multiple colors, multiple bands. But my favorite is the Western hat. And I also have the blue Spanish style, which is really awesome. It's my boyfriend's favorite. He also thinks I'm crazy because I'm going to make him build a hat wall in our apartment in San Francisco so I can hang them all and display them.
A boudoir photographer, so we decided that picture of the naked girl on the couch with all the huge hat wall that Danielle, we're doing that photo shoot. That's going to be our Andeana. Yeah.
I'm going to have to like not eat carbs and definitely get back to the gym after, hopefully quarantine will do this because body is definitely not in shape for that.
Hi, Patty. We have a new joiner. We're basically talking between 5 cities right now, so welcome. We are chatting with Danielle in the red hat, who is in San Francisco, who just won the award, Show Your Trophy, of buying the most Andeana hats. So explain to me why, when you said you were not a hat person and now you own 5, what you love about these hats.
So I grew up in a really big baseball family. So we were always about wearing baseball caps, and my head is oddly shaped. At least I thought it was always oddly shaped and looked kind of weird wearing those hats. Anytime I went to a department store and would try on a Western style hat or something, it was like I could never find the right size, and they just didn't fit well and didn't feel comfortable, and I didn't like the way they looked. And then I tried on your hats and I was like, oh, okay, I think I could work with this. And it's a lot of fun because, you know, you can accessorize different outfits. And every time I wear a hat, every single time, I have at least 2 to 3 people ask me, like, where did you get that? Like, what? And then I get to tell the whole story, you know, about like the women and how it's, you know, supporting them and how they weave the bands and, you know, they create the hats and, you know, it's all natural dyes. And people are like, oh my God, where do I buy one?
Yeah,
you know,
speaking of which, your red hat, tell us, Kelly, how that red hat is made. You just learned this when you're in Peru.
Red hat. Oh, blood.
It's made by blood? I did not
that
know
really
that.
Well. Okay, let's make it a little nicer. Yes, it is blood, but it is blood of the cochinilla. it's like a worm parasite, like a beetle that grows and lives on the cactus, the prickly pear cactus in the high altitudes of Peru. And they take the beetle and they literally smush it in their palm and they mix it with cornstarch, and that's how you get that red color. So, but yes, that is blood. Thank you, Kelly.
Blood.
Answering that correctly.
The beetles are so tiny, so it's really
I just felt like, I feel like, you know, wearing red today. I don't know if I said this, but I'm quarantined in like the East Bay outside of San Francisco, in my apartments in San Francisco. And I'm with family and we're quarantined together. We've been like this for a month. And I went back home briefly to get a hat. And I was like, I can't decide. Like, should I bring all of them? Like, is that a little extra for quarantine? So I only have like a few of them with me, but I have, obviously the Abundance Band and, what's the potato band again? I forget.
The Tika one.
But yeah, and I just got this great green hat, which I've been eyeing. Laura wears it all the time. She looks phenomenal in it. I think it looks great on blondes. I mean, God, I'm just such an ambassador right now talking this.
Well, I think you look fabulous in it, so thank you. And honestly, I love it though, because you kind of started the idea of doing the virtual pop-up. So obviously during this time, we are shifting and we are, you know, we're having to evolve the company and kind of pivot because we can't do all the physical pop-ups that we were planning on doing this spring. So this is our very first virtual one through Renegade. And then also, like for those of you in Instagram Live right now, if you go to renegadecraft.com, we are for the next hour and a half doing a virtual pop-up of the hats. And for everyone who buys an Andeana hat right now, you get a free intention band of your choice. So you can either go to andeanahats.com/shop, or, and you can choose your own hat and bands right now. Or you can go and visit renegadecraft.com and check on their virtual fair. There are a lot of different artisans, including ourselves, that are on the virtual fair right now. So definitely go visit them. But thank you, Danielle. I'm gonna switch back to Kelly in LA. So bye, Danielle.
Bye, Danielle.
Okay, so Kelly is gonna join us in Los Angeles because you actually have the hats behind you. It's kind of weird seeing you in my house, and I can't be in my
I know, and you're not here.
I'm not in my own house. I haven't been home in Los Angeles since February. And I went to Peru and led our first women's retreat, and then got stuck in lockdown here in Miami. I mean, it's not so bad. I'm here with my boyfriend, but it's also, you know, like I miss being in my house. So let's have you join live from the house. I said yes. Come in live.
I said yes.
Okay, here we go. I accepted you. Okay. So the thing that we're not going to see in the live is I'm going to do like a little video presentation. We're going to switch back and forth. But here in Venice Beach, just letting you know, we are doing social distancing delivery dressing rooms. So for those of you, there's Kelly. She is our person who, if you want to place a hat order, but you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what hat looks good on me. How does it fit? Which color do I want? Which intention band do I want? Kelly can literally bring 6 or so hats for you to try on different ones, try on different intention bands, obviously with mask, gloves, all that stuff, and you can decide which one you want and give her the rest to take back. So we're kind of doing the Amazon way, which you order everything and return everything but one thing, sort of, but we're doing it with a physical person. So please don't buy a bunch of hats and then return them all. We are doing that via Kelly. So anyway, right now, if you want to host a party, we just had Danielle on, we are doing deals. If you want to host a hat party of your own, we can deliver a bunch of hats to you. You can be the host. You will get a discount on your own hat that you purchase. And then, you know, obviously it'd be great to spread the word and to have other people buy hats. But we've been doing virtual, well, not really virtual because they're in person, but we've been doing delivery hat parties. And so that's been a really fun thing during quarantine, you know, sipping cocktails and putting on hats. So I'm going to switch over just to, we're on Zoom right now. For those of you that want to join the Zoom link, if you click on the link in my bio on Instagram, you can join the virtual fair, click on Andeana Hats, and then join us live on Zoom. So I'm literally doing 2 lives at the same time right now, which is a little crazy. Okay, I'm gonna switch on Zoom to, hold on, let me take you off here.
If you weren't, that wouldn't be you. You do everything like a billion.
I wear so many hats. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna share my screen and do this. All right, so here is, I'm gonna go back. All right, so on our Andeana Hats, our mission behind Andeana Hats is to empower women and support global artisans that are continuing their vanishing crafts, enabling them to support themselves and lead their communities out of poverty. So we didn't start out, like, it kind of all just came together. The whole plan with the hats was, I was in Peru and I was photographing all these incredible Quechua artisans all the time. And they all have this incredible hat culture. And so all of a sudden this idea of wanting to photograph all the women with hats turned into, wait a minute, we should be sharing these hats with the world. And let's start a hat company. So I'm going to show you this short video really quick. And for those of you on Instagram Live, if you want to actually follow in Zoom, you can click on the link in my bio, or we can be ghetto as F right now and do it through this.
Ooh.
We wanted to basically capture the energy of the Sacred Valley here in Peru and be able to bring that energy into the lives of the people that wear our hats. So every single one of our Andeana hats have a woven intention band. They're all woven here in the Sacred Valley in the Pachamama community by Quechua women, who are the descendants of the Inca people.
We're so excited because we're here in the valley with Maki. We're on one of their sustainable tours.
So right now we're going to learn how to weave with them. We're going to go have lunch. We're going to basically see how their community lives. And so it's really important because not only are we working together with these women,
There you go, there's light.
Entrepreneurial days at home with their weaving, but we're also helping them to create more business with just tours coming and homestays coming with them. Sustainable fashion means sustainable tourism. So we're really, really excited to be partnering with Pachamama Ceremony.
I love that cream hat. I want to get that one back.
It's truly amazing how different the Amazon jungle is to the Andes Mountains of Peru, to the coast, to even Lima City. It's just all so different and rich in culture.
So the reason why we chose the shape of the Chicano, which is the Andean cross, for our brooches and our hats is because it's a very powerful symbol here in Andean culture. When the Spaniards came over and sort of forced Christianity on the Quechua people here, they believed in a lot of gods, like the sun god, or Pachamama, which is Mother Earth, the mountain god, Apu. Basically, the Chicana represents the three steps here, the different levels of heaven, earth, and the underworld, which is also past, present, future. And with our hats, we wanted to have the energy of all the gods and all the nature and of the Sacred Valley infused in our hats. And by using the aragonite stone brooch on our hat, it grounds whoever wears it into that energy.
The women that we work with, as I say, live in very rural communities, and they have very few economic opportunities. So there aren't any other industries that they can be a part of. And weaving is really a part of their lives every day. So what we're doing is we're working to give them market opportunities, so working with an international market, which they wouldn't have otherwise had a chance to do. We have a social impact model, so each co-op that we work with goes through different stages, and with the goal that they graduate from Awamaki and they can work independently. And that means that they can work with their own clients for sustainable tourism with their own agencies. We offer a wide range of workshops on things like confidence building,
working together as a team, the textiles, things like quality control, color theory. So yeah, to really build their skills so that they can work.
Love to be able to grow Andeana internationally and reach out to other artisan communities all around the world. We'd love to reach more places in South America, Asia, Africa, North America.
Andeana has a giant future. We think that it's not going to just remain here in Peru and benefiting the Quechua people here. Our idea is that we want to work with artisans around the world, have them weave intention bands for us, and people can buy an Andeana hat, buy intention bundles on our website that benefit multiple communities around the world, and be able to support women on a global scale. So not only are we going to launch our travel and our tours, but we're going to have this giant library of intentions for all of our customers to work as well.
Yeah, let me switch it back. Okay, so, all right, let me unshare this really quick and bring us back to our talk here. Put us here. Hold on 1 second. You're right. Whoop. Gonna lose this. All right, guys, so I know we're doing ghetto here, trying to do like a share on the screen of everything. Hold on, let me do this really quick. So, all right, guys, and I'm back. So basically, we're doing an online virtual fair with Renegade right now, and also on Instagram Live. So for those of you that are just joining in, if you want to shop for a hat right now, we're giving away 1 free intention band with every hat. And we are also, you can either go directly through our shop, andeanahats.com/shop, or if you click on the link in my bio on Instagram, you can join our Zoom call. You can look and click on the link and click on the website and do it that way too. Okay, so I'm gonna go, basically you were on our trip, Kelly, if you wanna talk to us a little bit about what your experience was meeting the women in Peru. But we talked about on the end of that video, we talked about how we want to launch tours. And one of the reasons why we wanted to launch tours, other than the fact that I'm obsessed with travel, and Hats is, works in the travel industry and lives in Peru, but it was also to find another way to have sustainable income for these amazing Quechua women. So we can have tours to come meet them and see what they do, and it's just another form of income and allowing them to continue their way of life. So you firsthand experienced this a few weeks ago, or a couple of months ago, I guess. Where have I been? I'm like at a time warp here in Miami. But tell us your experience with that.
I mean, it was amazing because, the reason I started working with you is because I immediately, from the very first minute you introduced and started talking to me about Andeana Hats and why you started this company, it was extremely inspiring to me to start a company not for money and power, but to better the world, to make it a better place. And then to also provide for give these communities a platform to sell their amazing craft, which is just so incredible. There's not enough people like you in the world, which is just crazy. And
Girl,
so
that's very sweet of you to say.
And I see all of these bands all the time. I work with them. I'm allergic to things. They make me sneeze, but they're cool. They're cool. And it takes
that's because, in all fairness, you're brushing them for 5 hours, and so if anybody does that, you're gonna have alpaca wool in your nose.
One hat.
Your dedication is real.
Everyone else should be just fine.
Way to sell it. Go
it takes 2 weeks? 2 weeks to make a hat, right?
A little longer than that, and definitely longer to ship it than we anticipated. But go on.
And they're so special, these hats, and these women. I've been wanting to meet them for a while, so when the opportunity presented itself for me to go with Laura and meet these women, I thought that I was ready for the experience and what I would feel once I got there and met them, but it really was just otherworldly incredible. These women they do 19 things at once, carrying a baby while weaving a bracelet and then a blanket and a rug all at the same time with hands and feet and toes and crap. It's crazy. And
Danielle's face when you're saying that is so priceless.
Sorry, I'm just visually, mentally trying to this woman with like 17 arms. I mean, how do they multitask like that? That's amazing.
Let me just tell you, like the idea of plastic and I'm like, what's the term? Single-use plastic doesn't even exist in their culture. Like if they need a container, they like weave it and they throw it over their shoulder and they carry everyone with it and they use it for warmth and they, you know what I mean? Like there's no bowls and plastic and not like, you know, there's no trash. Like everything's organic and they compostable and it's crazy.
So cool.
It's insane. And then going there and like meeting like the children and how they still are so spiritual and how the ancient ruins are still all around you. It's just something I didn't really expect when you're there eating dinner at a table with everything that's been made right there by these incredible people. And then you go out and you're like toasting to mountains and they're doing foot plows with no shoes and they're not even phased.
Yeah. They tried to get me to do that damn foot plow and I lasted all of 3 minutes. I was like, not even that long. I think I lasted 30 seconds. I was like, nah.
In the background. Nope.
But so what she was talking about is we had to do the Pachamama ceremony and basically pay homage to the mountains around us because all their mountains to them are gods. And so they know all the names of the mountains. It would be like saying a prayer to all, you know, to all the different gods.
What did we say? Mount Shasta?
Yeah, so then they asked us to say a prayer to all of our mountains. And I was like, oh God, I don't really know the names of all of our mountains. I should know this. So I'm like, Mount Whitney and like Shasta and Santa Monica Mountains. Like I really just didn't know. And then it made me realize that we are not nearly as in tune to nature as these Quechua people are. Like everything they do is based on the harvest and the sunrise and sunset and the eclipses and the solstices and it's really amazing. And they ask permission to take something out of the ground and they ask permission to use something. And so
they're not greedy at all.
No, but they ask permission that it's because they respect Pachamama or Mother Earth. And so when we started this hat company, we wanted to build that energy and that belief system and that spirituality into it somehow, which is at first we're like, how are we going to make this hat company different than another hat company? Like who's going to spend money on it? Why are we going through all this trouble to ship these hats from this remote villages in Peru? And the reason is because they really do have the energy of the Sacred Valley. Like everything they do, they put into it with their hands, with their weavings, with their traditions and their beliefs. And I really believe that the hat itself is a symbol of your energy. Like all of us have our, you know, different chakras. So our third eye chakra here is covered by our hats. And so if you think about it, hats protect your energy. Hats are a symbol of importance or wealth or just a way to, you know, tell what kind of person you are. If you think about any really important person in history, like a king or a bishop or a wizard or like, you know, anybody that you can think of, a lot of them always have crowns or some sort of large hat on their head, and it's a symbol of status, but it's also makes you feel more confident and it protects you and it protects your energy. And so they really believe that in their culture, and a hat is a very powerful symbol, and a hat also is, you know, defines them. And so it also was a mixture of like the Spanish coming over. So when the Spaniards came over, they brought all their crazy hat styles from Europe, and they introduced them to the Inca people. And the Inca people, they at first used them to distinguish which tribe was which or which village was which. And then the Inca people decided to like make it their own. So they took their hat style and then like added their own decor and flavor and their own meanings behind it. And so now when you like go around the Secret Valley, you'll see people with like giant top hats on and all kinds of incredible, you know, different style hats. Some look like lampshades. Some look like, you know, like graduation caps or like bowler caps or like a giant, huge Pharrell style, like Western hats, and which are really rad. And so the Spaniards, like the top hat is super Spanish. So the tribe, or I don't want to say tribe, the Quechua village and the people that still wear the top hat are actually have the most Spanish blood, and they're very proud of it. So it's like the tribute to wear a giant top hat means that you have like mestizo Spanish blood. And I mean, they all kind of do, but they have the most, I guess. And then, but it's funny because like you see them out in the fields, you know, out like you said, balancing a baby and doing all this stuff, and they're wearing like this giant hat. It's
like weaving while they're like flip-flowing. It's crazy.
I tried to do the little spindle thing, where you pull the alpaca wool and turn it into thread, and I was like,
You did better than I did. I broke mine.
Girl, I literally, it's tragic. And they do it like just while they're talking, and they're just like, da, 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 and they're like weaving and spinning wool, and they're like walking down, like they're hiking a hard hike that we can't even like do normally, and they're like spinning wool while they're hiking. It's pretty insane. Yeah. So okay, so for those of you on Instagram, like I said, we are doing a multimedia Zoom Instagram call right now. And I am going to switch it over to presentation mode again here. Hold on, Danielle looks so serious. Okay, so we're gonna go to save this. All right, so the founders. Hold on, guys. Sorry, Kelly.
That's okay.
Switch it over here for a second.
Oh yeah, get me out.
No, you're fine where you are. I'm just gonna put, okay. So meet the founder. So this is me and Pats. Pats is actually on the call, but her internet in Peru is non-existent. So Pats and I actually met, and she's gonna love me telling this story, but her now ex-husband was a model for National Geographic, and so I used to photograph him, and that's how we met. So you know what? You got me out of the divorce, so that's good. Anyway, so Pats and I, we are both really passionate about travel, sustainability, and women's empowerment. And I've always been, doing workshops with women. A lot of my photo retreats are benefiting girls' education, orphanages in Nepal, whatever it is. I've always been very passionate about girls' education, because I honestly think, and I'm just going to say this right now, I'm switching around in my face, I honestly believe that educating women will solve most of the problems on the planet. And it's not just me. I was actually talking to somebody who works in the Nature Conservancy. If you really break down all the social issues on the planet, even just having too many people on the planet, too much trash, global warming, all of it, it trickles down to women, and to, if we educated more women, and it would help a lot of these problems out. And we, I don't want to get on a whole rant about it, but I think it's really, really important to empower women. It just is going to bring a lot of people out of poverty, men and women. So Pats and I have both been really passionate about textiles and Peru. I mean, she's actually a Polish-Canadian expat that lives in Peru. So she fell in love with Peru just as I did. So we're both these like white chicks. I mean, I'm Cuban, but whatever, we're white. We're white chicks that like learn Spanish and are really passionate about Peru, and have both started businesses out of Peru. Pat's other business, going to give her a little shout out, is Glossy Paradise. I don't know if you guys have heard of that business, but for those of you that went on the women's retreat, that is another Peruvian-based business in the Amazon. And they farm this tree. They take the aguaje oil from the aguaje fruit in this tree, and it's at all these insanely magical properties. It's like a healing, it like makes scars and your skin heal like 10 times faster than anything else. And it's like a natural remedy in the Amazon. And she basically bottles it in maracuya oil and a few different Amazonian superfruits into face oils. So she's been doing that. She's been working with the Amazon, Delphine Amazon Cruises, and started this hat company. So she is a multipreneur out of Peru. So after meeting her and going down there a lot to shoot for National Geographic, I was like, wait, we could definitely start a hat business. And then I made the famous last words of, how hard could that be? So yeah, I'm gonna stop share for a second on this one. Hold on. Okay, so then I was like, how hard could that be to start a hat business? And let me just tell you that, and his famous last words, because in this last one, we were like, okay, shipping, we thought would take 3 weeks, but then there were things like the political coup that happened in the border of Bolivia that shut down the borders. It was an extra rainy season this year, so the hats wouldn't dry as quickly, and we couldn't get the hats dried and shipped as timely as we wanted. Or, they have religious holidays and harvest holidays and all these things. So we were like, God, we really need to like check the like solstice calendar and like the weather before we place an order. Like, this is a little crazy. And so then I was like, okay, we're going to be really early this year. We're going to order like a shit ton of hats. in the beginning of the year. And then we are going to have them ready by like latest early March. And we're going to ship them all. We're going to be super ready for the spring for all the pop-ups. I'm like, there's nothing that's going to get in the way of shipping all these hats from Peru. I'm like so on it. And then the fucking global pandemic hits. And I'm like, God damn it. Like, what else? Like I really was prepared. Like I thought
I was so prepared. I
was so prepared. And so now I'm like, okay, so we have 1 million hats stuck in Peru. And all of our new intention bands are stuck in Peru. And everyone's stuck wherever. I'm stuck in Miami, but like so when our last day, when we were coming back from Peru on our women's retreat, and we had like a few boxes of hats like ready to go, and I was like Oprah at the end of her special, I'm like, you get a box of hats, you get a box of hats, and I was just like handing them off to everybody at the airport, like, get these out of the country, like I don't care where they end up, I will ship them to myself, like just get them on your plane. Like I was worried about getting everybody on their planes to get out. Like I barely made it out of the country, but I was really I knew we weren't going to be able to get the hats out. So we were magically able to get like 6 boxes of hats out.
I think it's magical that they didn't open them at customs.
Oh, I mean, it was so chaotic at the airport. I waited 4 hours in line just to hear them trying to see if I could buy another ticket out of the country. And they were charging like $8,000 to get a ticket out of the country. Like, what? Yeah. It was crazy. I was at the airport for 12 hours and I was begging for them to let me on a standby flight. And I got on the last one out because I got rid of all my luggage. That's the only reason.
You got rid of all of us too first. You were like,
yeah, I got rid of you guys and then my luggage, and then I was able to get on a flight.
Don't worry about me.
But let's rewind. I just want to talk about our last day on the women's retreat in Peru, because it was like straight out of a crazy storybook. So we were staying at the Treehouse Lodge Hotel in Peru. And so we were you couldn't be any more off the grid. We were up in a damn treehouse with like,
and it was flooded, like you said. So the water was so high. So there were all the animals and all
the animals. I mean, everyone found a special animal in their treehouse. Someone found like a tree rat. There was like tarantulas. I mean, like whatever, we found them. So the last night in the treehouse, we had no access to like the news or anything. So we didn't know that Peru was getting hit hard, and that the president had gone on national television and said, we're shutting down all the borders. So our last night, we're like, let's get a shaman to come like visit us. So we got a shaman to come to the treehouse, and we did a whole ceremony with the shaman. But I specifically was like, hey, my mom and my sister and my niece are here. Like, we definitely are not like trying to do ayahuasca, like blessing or something. The shaman shows up with a giant jug of ayahuasca and was like insisted that we all take ayahuasca. So I was like, enough, it was like a little microdose, but still I was like, this is my mom who's worked for the CIA, who's never touched a drug in her life. And I'm like, oh shit, I just put her in the Amazon with the shaman and ayahuasca. Like, how is this gonna go? And we have to somehow make it back to our tree house.
Your tent, which was like,
yeah. So the shaman, because it took him like 3 hours to get to our hotel in the jungle, like stayed the night. So the next morning we were like, well, we procured a boat to go back to, it was like a 2-hour boat ride and a 2-hour bus ride to get back to the airport in the Amazon that will get us to Lima. And then from Lima, we all fly to the US. So we get in the boat with the shaman. Oh, no, before the shaman, we heard that a local fisherman had caught an anaconda, like a giant anaconda. And I was determined to see an anaconda before we left this trip. So we got up at like sunrise, boated over to this village, and we asked around. We're like, we heard there's someone caught an anaconda. This dude pulls a 15-foot anaconda out of a giant box that he had made, and he had caught it in his fishing nets and was like feeding it chickens, and let us hold the anaconda. If you like scroll down to my Instagram feed, a few pages back, you will see it. And just the most gnarly, it was so crazy. So that was the morning of our day. Then we all get into the boat with the shaman. We're like, he's hitching a ride with us to go back. And we get in a boat accident. Another boat completely T-boned us on the Amazon River. Not even sure how that happened. Like, there's so much space. Like, we were coming around a corner and the guy just didn't see us and was going really fast and T-boned us right in between. Like, my mom's head was here and the shaman was sitting in the seat behind her. The boat came in pierced our boat in between my mom's head and the shaman's head, like 1 foot over or whatever. It would have been a really serious disaster.
And injured the guy on the boat too, right?
Injured the guy on the boat really bad. And so he sped away. And so then all of a sudden water started coming in our boat. So everyone's like, go to the front of the boat, life jackets. And we're like, oh shit, we are not sinking in the Amazon River. It's not happening. Piranhas and anacondas and shit. Like, no.
Just learned what is in this river.
With all of our luggage, all my photo gear, like all of our stuff. And so we finally, like, they gunned the boat into the side of the river, like into the reeds. And we're like standing on top of the boat now, like trying to get our stuff out on top of the boat while they're fixing it. And so this is just like the morning of, right? So we finally make it through that. We're all like shaken up. The shaman was like literally in the boat, like going like doing these prayer things and like doing like energy. We're like, get out of the boat, like it's sinking, get out. And so then we finally get back in the boat. We take 2 hours by boat after all that, get in a bus, 2 hours by bus, and then we get in a tuk-tuk to go to lunch. And then that's when Nish had her phone stolen out of her hand.
And
so
Kat's
filming like this outside of a tuk-tuk and had her phone snatched out of her hand. And then we finally made it all. And I'm like leading this group. I'm like, I just want to get everyone back in one piece. Like, that's all I want to do. So we get to the airport. We finally get on the flights. Everyone's checked in. We're like, okay. And then we land in Lima and it's like all hell broke loose like that. We didn't know the president had announced they shut down the borders. There were like 4-hour lines to get through security. My mom missed her flight because of it. I was freaking out. Like everyone was freaking out at the airport. So that's when all the boxes were there and like, it was just chaos. So
Kat shows up with like all the masks and starts handing them all out. Mask for you, mask for you.
I know. Yeah. And we
we
were like, what world did we just enter? And so I ended up being at the airport another 12 hours before I finally got on a flight to Miami. And I mean, that might be the most insane travel day of my entire life. Like I can't.
I gave away all my chargers to families that needed it, and then realized I had no phone to charge my phone.
Yeah. No, but it was crazy because everyone's asking me like, how do you feel now that you're in Miami for so long? Like you're never in one place for this long. And after a fucking travel day like that, I was like, I am okay. I don't need to see another airport for like a long time. I'm like really cool with just sitting still for a second. But you know, now I'm like, okay, I've had enough. But it was at the time a really welcome break to end up here.
And it's Miami, it's gorgeous. You exercise and stuff, go on bike rides, and you guys seem like you're having at least an okay time singing and stuff.
No, so that was our crazy story of coming back on the women's retreat. And so the whole point is you guys saw the origins of where the hats come from and just how difficult it is to even get there, let alone get these products back. So yeah, so there you go. And I'm gonna switch it off for a second. Hold on. Hey guys. Well, Kelly, is there anything else you want to say on IG Live before we get you off of IG Live?
No, just that I feel that these hats are extremely special, and if you order one online, it's not really the same as trying them on. So if you're in LA and you have a chance to try them on yourself, they're all different. They fit your head differently, and I can help you through that because I've been doing this for like a minute now. So order them. I will bring them to you. Try them on.
Just to let you know, we do have regular sizes. We do have small, medium, large, and they're all done by centimeters. The measurements are online, but because they're all handmade and hand-shaped alpaca wool, and all of the bands are hand woven, like one band might be woven a little tighter than another band. There's a different woman woven. So like it's just a handmade item. So there are little differences, and some of them are a little more breathable. Like they have what they call goma, which is in Spanish, it's like a glue. That's what they put on the alpaca wool to kind of give it to hold its shape. And so some people might use a little more glue than others. So some of them are a little flappier than others. So it just, it is, they're all but that's why they're one of a kind and they're so special.
Yeah. So. And when you try on the different intention bands, not everyone might feel that way, but I know I definitely do. When you feel it, you definitely channel what this means, what each intention band means. When you try it on, and when you look at it, you know which hat you want. You feel it.
Yeah, it is true. It is and it was like my girlfriend Moana that I was just on IG Live with before this call, she makes furniture out of textiles from Peru and hill tribes all over the place. And you guys have to check her out, Moana Dixon with the Hunted Fox. She is so badass. All of her stuff is handmade in LA, but the textiles she gets are from all over the world, like Morocco and even in Peru. And she gets the feel of it, like she literally like feels the energy of the textiles and brings them and creates these art pieces. And there's really, I don't know how to say it without sounding hokey, like there really is a real energy there in the Sacred Valley, which is why I keep going back, which is why I started the company, which is why I feel it. And I really do feel like it is guarding your chakra and your energy. I feel super grounded and happy every time I go to Peru, and especially the Sacred Valley, because you just feel
it's special. You have to go there. You have to go there. I believed you when you told me these things until I went there, and then I was like, and I want to live here. I want to be here all the time. Like,
okay, my next iteration of Andeana Hats, like we were launching tours. So the tour you just went on was first of hopefully many tours to come of Andeana trips to Peru. So you can also, on our website, you can book, not only just buy a hat, but you can book a tour to meet the women that make the hats. And it could be a day tour or it could be a whole retreat like we just did. But it is, it's really cool because I wanted people to be able to see the origin of where their hats come from. And it was really important to me. So we wanted to do, like travel, we wanted to be our next iteration, but also we'd love to be able to work with weavers all over the world to do different bands. I mean, we'll always have the hats made in the Andes, but I think that the bands could be from anywhere. We could work with, and I'm actually, now I'm thinking about it, I should really talk to Moana about all her textiles she mules from all over the place and work with her on making bands.
We always take a good muling.
Why is this the first time I'm thinking about that? Quarantine.
Live, like your brain stops, you're like, wait.
But I mean, right now it's like hard enough just to focus on the bands and the hats in Los Angeles. So,
a year.
but thank you guys. So for those of you guys watching, I'm gonna jump off Instagram Live, but I just wanted you to know that you can either click on the link in our bio and join our Zoom, or you can go to andeanahats.com and purchase a hat right now. Everyone gets a free intention band that purchases a hat right now. So, and you'll be helping support these amazing female artisans across the globe. Thank you. Thanks, Kelly. I'm going to jump off right now.
Okay, bye.
Okay. So my arm's getting tired. I have to like go back and forth here. Okay. Let me go back here. So I want to show my presentation here since we haven't even really gotten to that. I'm going to share a screen. Hold on. All right. Thanks, Danielle, for being on the call this whole time. You're like our mascot. I love it.
I am in the red hat, just, you know, Miss Mascot. I've got my trophy, I've got my champagne.
I love it.
Yay.
So our story with Pats and I and how we started the business, because Pats is on, but her internet is crap right now in Peru. So I will just tell the story. So Pats and I told you she works with Peruvian tourism. So hold on, let me get back on the live. I had to do it because Instagram Live, it just times out. So hold on, let me just get back on live real quick. Okay. Everyone's going to be like, we have enough of you talking today, Laura.
No way.
Okay. Hey, everyone. Back on live in Miami. By the way, we're having like a Shabbat dinner in like an hour. So people are coming over and I'm like in the room doing live on multiple things. It's a little crazy today. And I visited my 94-year-old grandmother today in Miami through the window of her nursing home. I have not been allowed to visit my grandmother since I've been here. So I brought her a bouquet of flowers and a card and did like a full through the window visit with my 94-year-old grandmother. It's pretty cool. Of course, I had to put on lipstick to see her because she was like, she's so Latina. She was like, you're letting yourself go during how are you ever going to keep a man? And then she was like, how's it going with your man? I'm like, well, we're locked down together. I mean, I don't know. It's been good.
Keep me out yet.
Neither of us have killed each other yet. So that's good. Okay. So I'm going to just tell a story right now. We're doing a live multi-Zoom and Instagram Live. So I'm going to tell the story about how we started Andeana Hats. So story time. All right. So Pats and I, she lives in Peru and she's, awesome. She like looks like a model. She's Canadian, Polish expat that lives in Peru and started multiple companies in Peru, but she works for Delphine Amazon Cruises. So when you guys have seen me travel to Amazon a lot in the last few years, it's been shooting for her company. And so we were asked to go visit the highest altitude lodge in the world. And that was part of basically a lot of these cruise lines. They have to refer land lodges to their customers. So when they get off the cruise, they need a place to go. So Andean Lodges pitched us and said, hey, we'd love for you to come check out our lodge, and you can photograph it and like put it on your website and market us. But they had marketed themselves as a luxury lodge. And let me just tell you, luxury means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And luxury to people in the high Andes meant you had running water and a toilet and like a bed, right? And that was pretty much all we had. So we got there, we were staying at a super luxury hotel in Cusco. We had like I had all my photo gear and all our stuff. And the night before our trip, the two guys that work for the company came and they're like, so we just want to make sure you're prepared for the trip. You can only bring 30 kilograms of stuff. I'm like, my camera weighs more than that. Like, and they're like, well, we basically need you to, everyone gets one llama and they can only carry 30 kilograms of stuff on their back, and the llama is going to porter your stuff to the hotel. And so basically all of the people, like, we had to figure it out. And every day just to get to your hotel room, you had to hike like 8 hours to get to your hotel. And then every day you hike another 8 hours to the next Andean lodge and then the next Andean lodge. So it was 5 days of this. And so we were not prepared. They asked us if we needed walking sticks, and Pat's was like, I'm Canadian, we don't need walking sticks. And then the next day we're like, fuck, we needed walking sticks. And so we basically were dying. Like we're hiking through snow. We were at 17,000 elevation. We could barely breathe. But this magical experience, other than being one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to, and I was so focused on not dying that the guide kept on being like, aren't you supposed to be taking pictures and drone right now? You're like, right? And I'm like, oh yeah. And because I was working, but I was so focused on just breathing and like hiking. And anyway, the point is it was a lunar eclipse that day. I'll never forget it. I think it was like June 19th or something of 2018 or July. And both of us are Pisces, Pat's and I. And so we read our horoscope that day, and the horoscope said, today you're going to come up with an amazing, brilliant business plan, business idea that's going to change your life, and blah, blah, blah. And both of us were like, how the heck is that going to happen on a hike in the Andes? Like, we didn't take it seriously at all. And then it happened. Our whole idea of starting Andeana Hats happened on that hike because, you know, I was deprived of oxygen and kept on photographing all the women and their hats through all the villages we were hiking through. And then my girlfriend called me Indiana Jones, and then I was like, more like Andeana Jones, because we were in the Andes Mountains. And then that was how the idea happened. Then we spent the next like 8 hours hiking, just coming up with a business model. Like, wait, we could actually do this. We could actually get these hats made and bring them to the US and sell them. And the whole idea kind of came from there. And the intention bands, I actually have to give credit to Ricky Lake's boyfriend, Jeff Sculpt, for this. So Ricky Lake is a dear friend of mine. I hope at some point she'll join. But her boyfriend, Jeff Sculpt, owns a company called One Golden Thread. And every time you buy something from his company, they plant a tree. And he has tags in his clothing that are intention tags. And all the tags say, like, instead of like rinse, wash, repeat, like your clothing tells you, it tells you like something that you should do for yourself, like breathe, meditate, whatever. I'm totally butchering this, Jeff. I'm sorry. Anyway, the point is, I was sitting next to him at a dinner, and I was just saying, my first idea with the hats was we wanted to sew like a written intention embroidered into the hat. And then we quickly learned that the women don't have a written language. So having them write anything, let alone in English, would be like really difficult. And so my idea of having an intention on the hat, I was like, shit, how are we going to do this? And then we were just looking at the different bands that they use to decorate the hats. And then we realized quickly that the bands all had their own intentions. Like the bands are the intentions. The designs on them are the intentions. So that's how the whole idea, you know, talking with the women, and we even met with a Quechua scholar who told us like the meanings of a lot of different, like the pictures and the, you know, because the Quechua language is a woven language. So we didn't know all the meanings and stuff. And And that was how the whole idea began. And what I love about the one I'm wearing right now, and I'm going to say this again for you guys have heard this story a million times, but I'm going to say it for those who just joined on Instagram, that this is the Aini. Wait, which one did you get on your arm tattooed?
Mayu.
Oh, you got Mayu. Okay, so this is not, oh wait, that's the one you got, is Mayu.
Purpose.
Okay, sorry.
In Quechua.
So in Quechua, sorry, she had it tattooed. It was really funny. I actually sent my 16-year-old niece to like translate in Spanish while she was getting a tattoo.
Thank goodness, because I would never been able to do it without her.
Anyway, even though that's not a Spanish word, that's a Quechua word, but whatever. So
get to the tattoo place.
Yeah, okay. So someone got the word Mayu, Kelly on the call got the word Mayu tattooed on her arm. And Mayu is the word for river, actually, in Quechua. And so they don't have like direct words in the Quechua language that correlate between like an English word and their word. So they always illustrate everything through nature. And so it's sort of a metaphor. So the river is a metaphor for the idea of purpose. So a river always has a beginning point, and it always flows in one direction and it has a destination that it'll always get to, that it's supposed to go to, but it might change course along the way. And it might, you don't know which way it's going to go, but it'll always end up where it's supposed to go. And so that's the idea of purpose. And I think it's a really beautiful melody. Hey, Alejandro. My nephew just joined. We're doing like a multi-Zoom Instagram live right now. So anyway, I hope you're enjoying quarantine. But yeah, so that was the whole point. And every time I go, it's amazing. And there's more that I want to do. So my next photo project that I want to do in Peru is I want to photograph the process of what, in video of what it takes for like one hat to get to you. So I want to start with the alpaca, like the actual alpaca animal. And I want the women to be brushing their pet alpaca and feeding it. And then they take the hair and then showing how they spin the hair into a wool, and then showing how they dye the wool and how they weave the wool. And then from there, how they take the wool and they smash it and shape it into a hat, and the whole process of doing that, which we didn't get to physically see on this last trip because it's a very remote community that makes these hats. They're very high up in the Andes. It's like a 5-hour hike or drive to get there, and they shape all of these hats out of alpaca wool. And then from there, we have to join the two together, sew the bands, sew the etiquetas and the tags on them. We have to have someone hike up to the villages, get them, bring them back down, ship them from the Sacred Valley to Lima, and then they're packaged from there and shipped to the US. And so it's like this whole process to like get it from this click on your computer screen to on your head. And I don't even want words. I just want a video with beautiful music that shows the entire process of all the different hands. And I know this sounds bad during COVID, like how many hands touch your product before it reaches you, but there's so many hands that touch your product before it reaches you, but in a beautiful way. Like it's so handmade. And so when someone says, how long does it take a hat to get made? I think I include the whole process of it to get to you. I mean, it can be like a month and a half before this hat comes from the hair of an alpaca wool to being on your head. So it's a pretty intense process. But anyway, so that is what's going on. So for those of you that joined, we are doing a virtual pop-up here for the first time. Renegade Craft is doing a virtual pop-up. And so they are live streaming. If you click on the link in my bio here at Instagram, you can go straight to the live stream. You can see a bunch of different artists and goods. And you can actually pop in to all their portals and talk to the makers and see them working. Anyone who pops in right now will just join this conversation and learn about the products and go shopping. So that's what's really cool about it. But everyone who buys a hat right now gets a free intention band, and so of your choice. So the whole point of these hats is that you can pull these bands off and mix and match. So right now, I'm going to grab I only have a couple with me here, Kelly. Anyway, so this is the protection band. It protects your energy. It's evil eye pattern. Every culture in the world has some form of the evil eye pattern. Every ancient culture of the world, which I think is really interesting. And it is the pattern of warding bad energy and bad spirits away from you. So even in like India, the babies, like moms will like put coal in their baby's eyes and put like a black mark on their forehead. And that's the evil eye. Basically, they want to make their babies look ugly, so the bad spirits will leave them alone and not be jealous of them. And so that's like the evil eye. It's like a pattern that's on your third eye chakra that's basically supposed to take their attention away from your eyes and kind of go here instead. So it's like a weird way of like confusing bad spirits, I guess, but it's a good luck band. And so you can choose which one you want on your hat and put it on. So that's what the whole idea of the intention bands are, is that you can mix and match and choose which intention. So right now I'm going to protect my energy. That's what I'm doing. I actually never worn the black and white one on this one.
It looks really cute. I was just thinking that.
I've never actually worn it on this one.
Ooh.
Cheers to you ladies for being on this call. Alejandro, cheers to my nephew. You can't drink silver right now, it's too young. Okay, so I'm gonna jump off Instagram Live and go back to Zoom in a second. Actually, Danielle, do you wanna jump one more time on Instagram Live just so we can chat? Okay, so we have one more guest coming on and then Kelly will come back on. Hold on. Where is my girl, Danielle? So Danielle just won the trophy for buying the most Andeana hats. I actually had a trophy made for her during lockdown. So you can have anything made online, which is so wonderful. But she launched our first, hey Danielle, I'm gonna add her in a second. Do you see the pop-up? Oh, here it is, okay. Okay. So Danielle, you kind of almost not came up with the idea, but helped start the idea of doing a virtual, hey, there's your trophy, pop-up. I love it. Most Andeana hats. By the way, I could choose what was on the trophy, and I chose like a beauty queen because I thought that was appropriate. She's like, anyway, hold on. I'm getting like calls right now at the same time. Okay, so Danielle did what I thought was really cool during lockdown. Tell your idea and what you did.
Oh my God, it's so cute. I still can't get over it. It's so smart. Give her a trophy. You bought enough.
Hold up. I can't hear her right now. Can you?
I can't hear her.
I'm gonna turn up my Instagram and turn this down then. Hold on.
Oh, swap.
Turn your volume on Zoom for a second. Yeah, because I can't hear you. Okay, here you go.
In quarantine, you know how that goes.
Hear her right now.
And
Yes.
the girl saw my hat.
Kelly,
I swear, technical difficulties are real. Backstory, and I told Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so put it on. Let me shut this door because I have other people working here. Basically,
I'm muting you, Kelly.
I hosted the hat party and invited some friends over that I had a Zoom call with to practice social distancing and wear gloves and wear masks. And I set up the hats at a safe distance, and then it worked out really well to just have people try on hats. And then a couple girls bought hats. Laura has a few photos. I don't know if she's posted them on her Instagram, but it was pretty fun and good time and a way to, you know, stay safe, but then also share Indiana. So it was a good time. And I own way too many hats. I have two.
But for the record, you said you were not a hat person, and now you own 5 Indiana.
Yes, not a big hat person originally. I'd go shopping at like a department store and try on hats and just thought they looked awkward. And then Laura told me about Andeana, and I was like, oh, I love the idea. I just don't know. And so then I tried on some hats, and I was completely sold. And now I own 5.
Well, so when you first bought them, I had just launched at the Row downtown LA, our first actual physical pop-up space. And it was a global impact marketplace. And I love that idea. I really want to copy that idea again once we're allowed to have people in the same space again. But the global impact marketplace, I brought all these people together that sold conscious goods, artisan made goods, and textiles, like tabletop stuff, furniture, hats, like whatever it was. And we all shared a space and sold it, but then we also used the space as an event space at night. So everyone that was showcasing their goods in the Global Impact Marketplace could then host an event that night or like join any of the events. So we had in a 1 month period, like 22 events. It was actually insane. I've never worked so hard in my life because there was no janitorial crew. I was like the cleanup crew at the end of the night. So I would literally be there all day long, but it was so magical because everyone just had, even if they had a different product or different idea, everyone had the same sort of ethos and wanted to do, we did sound baths and we did DJ sets and we did movie screening nights and women's entrepreneurial talks and like art gallery shows. And I mean, it was so cool. And I really, really want to do something like that again someday. But that, you know, but it was such a great way to tell the story and for people to be there physically and try it on. Like you, Danielle, you would have never bought the hat online, but like when you
I ended up buying a hat that night and trying them all on and wanting to try on more. But I think you had sold out. Like it was really a great idea to have that space and set it up with the hats, and it worked great. A lot of people got to
I will say we spent 3 hours on a hat wall. Do you remember that?
Yes. You have pictures on your Instagram. I'm sure people have seen
it.
Oh
my God, that hat wall is like my dream. Like one day in my house, I want to have, I do, like that's my house. Like I do have a hat wall, but
you have an entire hat wall.
That is literally, okay, so Kelly, hold on, wait. Actually, Danielle, get off for a second so Kelly can join so I can show the hat wall.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm like, it's right
You're
here.
like, Laura, you do have a giant hat wall in your house, actually. I haven't been to my house, for those of you watching, since February. I've been in lockdown in Miami. So right now I have my assistant, Kelly, calling in from my actual house. So it's like weird. I'm like virtually visiting my home.
I've only been in the loft area.
I know, wait, hold on. You're joining in. Hold on. Where are you? Okay. Did you come in? View.
I requested.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You're in. So my dream, if you looked at the Instagram pictures, I built this insane hat wall. It's like a giant swoop out of like 100 hats. And now this is the loft of my house. It's all, back up a little bit so you can show a little more. It's just all hats. Yeah, there we are. It's crazy. But so this is our Venice showroom. So people that want to actually come in person, if they feel good about it, can come and try on hats here. Or what Kelly's doing, which is really exciting, is we're now doing delivery, dressing room delivery services. So if you want to try on a hat, but you don't want to come out of your house and you just want everything to be delivered to you, like how the world can come right now, Kelly, and if you're in the LA area, that is, can deliver multiple hats for you with different bands and color choices that you want. Like you just say however many you want in different sizes, and she'll come bring them over, and you can try them on, test them all out. And whatever you don't want to keep, you give back to Kelly. So we're doing that, and that's been actually really successful because they're really personal hats. You really do have to kind of see it and fall in love with it and feel it and all that good stuff.
And I can help you pick the right size for your head, you know.
Hey Sarah, hey Robin, what's up ladies? This is how I go home these days. I virtually call Kelly and she goes into my balcony and into my house.
And it's like, oh my God, look. Oh.
I actually live, oh look, I do have a house on the beach. Oh yeah, forgot. Anyway, but I will be home next Saturday. It's very exciting news. But what has been really cool during this pop-up is that we've actually been, we put in an order for the leftover textiles to be made into face masks. So hopefully the women are going to
Really?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see how that goes because they are wool. That would be definitely a little warmer than the average face mask. They will look rad, but you know, if they're going to use scraps of textiles, so we're definitely going to do that.
Can they weave some like these?
Well, they're going to take old like scraps of actual like materials that they haven't sold and probably like and sew them together. So it'll look almost like quilt like probably. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. We just thought about it. We're like, why not? Like, let's take the scraps and reuse them.
I want anything from those women. Anything that those women make, I want it.
But, you know, we're trying to just pivot in this time. And right now we're doing virtual pop-up, but on top of virtual pop-ups, we're really just trying to spread the word and get the story out and have Instagram lives and interview people that are like-minded that are doing really cool stuff. And like today we spoke with Milana Dixon of the Hunted Fox, and last week we spoke with Taryn LaRock of sage larock, and she's like taking fishing nets out of the ocean and making luxury women's bathing suits out of them, which is amazing. And then Moana is taking textiles and muling them from all over the world into suitcases, buying them from different hill tribes, and then making them to insane custom furniture. So it's incredible. And I love that there's so many people in the Los Angeles area that are doing things like this and inspiring women all the time that inspire me. So, and these women in Peru inspire me. Like, they are just, you know, badasses. I don't know if you guys heard or saw recently that Quechua rapper, that chick who's like 16, 17, who's become like a famous rapper. She was just featured in the New York Times, but she's Quechua. And she's wearing the full Quechua outfit. And you know what? I'm going to find the link and send it to you guys. But I just tried to reach out to her on Instagram. So I'm like, this girl needs an Andeana hat. She is so badass, but she's trying to preserve her culture and her language that's dying by rapping in Quechua.
That's so cool.
It's so, you really have to watch it. I posted about it on Facebook. It's really cool.
Oh,
it's getting so loud here because we're hosting like a Shabbat dinner in the next room. So Matt's actually like cooking with a yarmulke on, and I'm in here doing this. So, yes.
Where's the Muppet? Where's the Muppet?
The Muppet is at the table, already set at the table with his yarmulke on. Oh yeah. I can't go out. It's a little too much. I can't go out there just yet. But anyway, so yeah, so for all of y'all that are on this call, I just wanted to say, definitely click on the link in the bio, and definitely, if you know, check out Andeana Hats in our shop right now. Thanks, Kelly. I'm gonna have you jump off for a second.
Okay.
She's like, all right. Okay. So, who is in here right now? All right, guys. So I'm gonna switch to Zoom right now and do my talk about my presentation for a second here. Hold on. Let me do this real quick. All right. Sharing screen. All right. Okay. So start video, play. Okay, so that was our story with Pat tonight. So with Andeana, we have 3 things that are sort of our core values: empowerment, intention, and sustainability. And so empowerment is obviously with the women, the Quechua weavers. And so you met them in Peru. I talk about them all the time. And I just don't think people understand. It's not like just one community of women. It's not like a small village of 200 people. We're talking about, I think there's like 1 million Quechua people that live in different villages in the Andes. Like, it's a massive community, culture people. They are the direct descendants of the ancient Inca people. And this woman, Elena, is such a badass. And we got quotes from the women. It says, you have to practice your craft, support your family, and have their respect. Women should work so they can support their families and make their own decisions. And she's wearing one of our hats there, but like everything they wear is like hand woven, and the colors and the dyes, and the more decorated your skirt is, the more single you are, actually. So it's like, you can tell if someone's single or not based on how ornate their vest is. And they'll actually take like an entire, like young girls that are like 14, 15 will take an entire year to embroider their skirts. And the men actually choose a lot of the women based on how well embroidered their outfits are, and how fancy they are. Because if they're a good weaver, then then they're a good female wife prospect, I guess. I don't know. I would tragically not be a good weaver and not a viable choice as a Quechua woman.
Nope.
No, not at all. I can't even sew a button to like save my life. Okay, so let me switch back to this. So intention setting is our second part, kind of our mantra for our business. And our hashtag is wear your intention. And messages from the Incas are woven in. So as we've been talking about on our call, every single Andeana hat has a woven intention band. And so you can choose which intention you want to wear. So here we have the Munai, which is love. And it's the first pattern that a mother teaches their daughter to weave. And then here we have the Puma band, which is the god of the earth, of the present. It's the Puma claw is the design. And the whole idea of Kai Pacha, or the god of the middle world, is about grounding you into the earth's energy. So it's about balance. this intention band, the Naui band, is protection, which is like the one I'm wearing right now, protection. And it is the evil eye pattern, which is prevalent in every ancient culture. And it's to guard your chakra, guard your energy, and ward off bad energy. So it actually is a good luck, brings good luck. Sacha, the connection band, is really cool. It is the branches of the tree of life. And so they really believe that the tree of life connects all three realms of the spiritual world, at the heavens, the earth, and the underworld. So the roots are in the underworld, the trunk of the tree is in earth, and the branches are in heaven. And then Tika is the abundance. It is the potato flower. And so the potato or the papa is super abundant in the Andes, and it's like their way of life. They survive off of growing and eating and doing everything with the potatoes. Hey, Moana joined us. We were giving you a shout out just a second ago, how badass you are. And then the third band or sixth band here is Yaku, which is, sorry, you guys are on here right now. The Yaku band is, oh, the one that you're wearing, Kelly. Hold on. See if I can stop sharing for a second. So Kelly is wearing the Yaku band right there. So that is their lakes. So it's vitality. So the people believe, and Yaku means lake in Quechua. The people believe that lake symbolizes health. And if you have, they wove like a design inside of it. So I guess if there's something in the lake, it means that the lake is healthy. They were trying to explain it to me in Quechua, and I didn't quite understand what the thing in the lake is supposed to be, but it represented a healthy lake. Okay, so we're gonna go back to screen share here. Sorry, doing this kind of ghetto because I'm doing Zoom and live at the same time. All right, let's do this. So then our Apu band is our power band. And this is, Apu means mountain and also power, strength, and God. They're all the same word in Quechua. And it's because they really believe that the, hey Bess, that the mountain god or the Apu is, each mountain is a god. And so actually when we were there, and so it means God, spiritual strength, whatever. When we were in the Sacred Valley, they would make us, every time before you could eat or drink chicha or anything, you'd have to pour out some chicha to the ground to Pachamama, Mother Earth, kind of like, you know, to your homies, right? And you had to pour out some of your drink to the different Apus around you, and each Apu was the mountain. So they would name every Apu and face the direction of that mountain and pour out some of their drink as paying homage to the mountains. And then they asked us to do the same thing about our mountains in the US. And I was like, God, I don't really know the mountain names. I'm like Mount Shasta, Santa Monica Mountains, Mount Whitney. Like I didn't know the Apus. So I was like Apu Whitney, Apu Santa Monica. But it made me realize how I am not in touch with my mountains around me. I need to be a little bit more in touch with Mother Earth. So hold on. Hey, Seek. Okay, so the other part about our intention setting, obviously our bands are our biggest part about intention setting, but also the biggest part about intention setting for us is our Chicano Stone, which is, I'm going to show you right here. This is our Chicano Stone. Right now they are sold out, and the reason that they're sold out is because they're actually just stuck in the borders of Peru. We have these stones hand cut and hand shaped into the Chicana shape. And so this brooch that you wear on your hat is a aragonite stone, and it's sourced from the Sacred Valley in Peru. And the aragonite, the energetic property of the aragonite is to ground you into the earth's energy. And so it was really important for us. We want to almost like activate our bands. So I don't have a Chicana on me because I'm in Miami right now, but they're all hand cut into the Inca cross, and they activate your band. And so it's another form of energy from the Sacred Valley that we infuse into our hats. But the whole point about the Chicana, which I'm going to explain here, is that you see the 3-step pyramid. It's just like, it represents past, present, future. It also represents the underworld, earth, and heaven. And it also, the circle in the middle represents the portal to the unknown dimension. They really believe in multiple dimensions and in different spiritual realms. And then also the shape, normally there's like a triangle in the middle of it. So it looks like a mountain, the top half. So that's Pachamama or Mother Earth. And so this shape was actually like, it's the Inca cross, and it's sort of like a fuck you to the to the Spaniards, because like the Spaniards came and killed all the Incas and forced them to believe in Catholicism, and so they forced them to have the crucifix. So the Incas were like, okay, cool, we'll like believe in your God. So they made their own version of the crucifix, which is what I just showed you. And so basically it encompasses all of the gods that they believe in, so they could still pray to those gods. And the Spaniards thought they were praying to Jesus Christ. So that's the true story there. Okay. I'm gonna Missy Tusi. Okay, so sustainability. Sorry guys, I'm doing a screen share at the same time, so Zoom is not gonna get all this stuff on it, but sustainability is our third core thing of our business, for why we started Andeana Hats. So what makes us sustainable? By the way, sustainability for me is like such a catchword that we hear all the time. Like everyone just throws it out there, like we're sustainably made. You're like, what does that mean? Basically, it means you want to leave things better or as good as you started. So you don't want to be like using dyes that pollute. You don't want to be using any toxic chemicals, making polyester, and like all the fashion industry is like one of the biggest polluters. So for us, we are super winning in that department because all of our dyes are super natural. And if you were on our retreat, you would have learned how each color is made. In fact, the red color of our hats is made by, it's the only one that's made by like an animal. It's a worm called the cochinilla worm that lives on the prickly pear cactus, and they pluck the parasite or the worm off of it and they squeeze it, and the blood that they get is actually the red dye. They mix it with cornstarch, and then it makes the red dye. But everything else they get from plants, and some stones like lapis lazuli and different blue stones is how they get that cobalt blue. It's amazing. Like you would just see like a stick or a plant and have no idea that a vibrant purple could come from it when they boil it. It's pretty amazing to see how they do it. The other part about our company that is sustainable is preserving the craft. So Andean weaving is, no pun intended, but like woven into their culture, like for real. Their language is a woven language. They have I'm totally blanking on the name, but the way that they used to keep history in the ancient Inca times, they had this woven tapestry with all these long strings with knots on it, and that's how they actually kept track of like the census and their crops and everything. They did it through textiles, and it's preserving their natural way that they've been doing it for hundreds of years. So National Geographic calls it a vanishing craft, the way that they literally use everything from nature. I mean, they don't even harm the alpacas. They're just brushing the alpaca wool and getting the wool and dyeing it with plants that are indigenous to where they're from. So that's another part that's sustainable. But then what else makes us sustainable? Everything's handmade. That's super sustainable. But beyond that, sustainability is about creating income opportunities for people. And it's about, giving them an opportunity to make money, an opportunity to continue the way of life that they have. So what's sustainable about our business is that we are letting them live the way that they do and letting them work on the schedule that they want to work. So we don't have opening closing hours. We are definitely working on the rain schedule, the quarantine schedule, the religious schedule, the harvest schedule. They work when they can and whenever they want to. They feed their kids and they do the farming. And so the hats are made when the hats are made. But it's pretty amazing. We allow them to stay in the mountains, and then we have Awamaki hikes up to them and places orders with them with a translator, and then they bring the hats and the bands back to us. And that's how we place our orders. There's no direct connection with them on the internet. There's no cell phone service. There's no phones. We're using Quechua translators. And so the idea is that they, normally these women have to hike like 8 hours down to a marketplace just to have a chance to sell some of their goods. And now they can just, those 8 hours each way, they can be at home with their family and continuing their way of life. And we're bringing work to them, and we're selling their goods in a global marketplace. So we're creating sustainable income for them. The other form of sustainable income is our tours. So we had just launched our very first women's retreat to go visit the weavers in March, and got back the day that the borders were shut down. But we are going to continue doing this. We are offering weekend homestays with the women. You can actually go stay with them for a couple of days and learn how to weave and farm and cook and all that stuff, and just literally live with them for a few days. We're doing tours where you could just go spend 3 hours with them and have lunch and just see how they live and make a friendship bracelet, which I did, and it was tragic. Like, that woman basically wove my entire bracelet for me. I have a huge respect for the way that they weave. It is so complicated, and they make it all out of like their backstrap loom they make out of sticks on the ground and like alpaca bones, and then they weave these beautiful tapestries. It's unreal. And then our Andeana Women's Retreat. So we, it's not going to just be a women's retreat. We will have more of those when borders are open again. This one was a 2-week retreat where we went all over Peru, in the Amazon and Sacred Valley, but we are going to offer more Sacred Valley retreats, co-ed and not co-ed. There's so much beauty to see. I loved going to the Amazon, but it's almost just like a completely separate trip to go to the Amazon. Like, honestly, there's so much to see and do in the Sacred Valley. You could easily spend a long time there. So that's another way of us creating a sustainable income for these women, is that they, we have a way for them to make money doing exactly what they do. They're just at home, they're working, they're weaving, they're taking care of their kids, and we can bring groups there and help them out with their chores and stuff, and they're making money off these tours. So that's really important for me to be able to create another way for them to earn money. So, and the thing is, like, they're not, here we are back again, they're not, desperately poor and unhappy. And this isn't a charity thing for the women. I honestly, when I set up the business with Pats, it was really about empowering them. And the way that we empower them is that we're creating a business with them. In fact, the first person who gets paid in our whole chain of paying of our business are the women. So they set their rate, and it's in fair trade rules, and they tell us what they want to get paid for their weavings and for everything they do, and we pay them, and then it's up to us to like do all the logistics and get everything and sell everything. So we're really just in business with these women. They're not working for us. We're not just giving like a trickle down, oh, you get proceeds from our profits. They're actually the ones that get direct benefit from it, and it really, really does help them. In the short time we've been in business, these women are making way more money than their husbands. Their husbands, a lot of them were guides at Machu Picchu, making like $20 a month, like slave wages. And they're now making more than that in like a hat, one hat. And so a lot of the men have quit their jobs and are staying home with the kids and taking care of the animals, and the women are the breadwinners, and they're like the jefes, and I love it. They're such badasses. And now their children, who a lot of them have cell phones and are going down to school, and a lot of them were becoming embarrassed about their cultural identity. Like, they would like take off their clothes and put on Western clothes when they got to the city, are now finding a newfound respect and like really enjoying and really embracing their culture again, because there's a way for them to make serious money and a way for them to have an actual career out of being a weaver and being a Quechua woman, where they didn't have that opportunity much anymore. It's like it's a vanishing art and a vanishing craft. So I hope this continues. I hope the women continue being as badass as they are. I know that they will, and they're like gonna thrive and survive through all this, and it's all about helping each other out. And yeah, so I'm just really, really proud that we started Andeana Hats and we're helping these women out. So for right now, for all of you guys on Instagram in here, we are doing a special that every hat that you buy, you're gonna get a free intention band, a second one of your choice to go with your hat. So if you just go to andeanahats.com /shop, or just click on the shop all button, you can buy a hat and support these women, and also pick out a free intention band. So we're doing that. And if you want to ever review what we're doing here, we're going to be saving the whole Zoom call and posting that. So you'll have that as well. Okay. So thanks for you guys for joining. Hi, everyone. All right. So we're going to be like kind of finishing things up here. Is there anything like, Kelly, do you want to jump on Instagram Live one more time? Okay. So I see Pats. Pats is just like the silent person in the background. So Pats, my partner Pats is in Peru, and the internet's so bad there that she can't really join right now. So Here we go. Going live with Kelly again. Gonna wrap things up. All right. So Kelly is live again from.
Guys, I'm thinking of the entire time. My internet's just terrible.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. No, I was just like, I just wanted to see your face again, see that you're there.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah, but Kelly's jumping on live right now too. So Kelly, tell us about. Well, first of all, I want you to see the gorgeous hat wall behind. So these are all the beautiful hats that we were able to actually get out of Peru. We have a huge hat shipment, and all of our new bands, our 3 newest bands. Actually, Pats, do you want to show me the new bands really quick? Again, these bands are arriving. They're already made. That's the one I was wearing before, the Purpose band, and then show the Resilience band. That one is, oh yeah, that's
The blue one, yep.
there, the blue one. It's actually the coca leaf, which is Resilience. Oh, hey, Teresa Bell just joined. Okay, and then Happiness. Honestly, this band just makes me happy. It's like my new favorite band. And you can't really see the colors that well, but it is so colorful, and all of those dots represent different people. So like for them, their idea of happiness is community and family and helping each other out. So all of those dots represent people and community, which I think is a really beautiful idea. Yeah, so those 3 bands and the Chicano Stones and our newest Fedora hats, which I actually have a prototype of here.
I want to see.
In the next shipment. So hold on, I need to have my hands free for a second. Hold on. Yeah, I know, I do have a forehead. Some people are like, what? You have 4 hats?
Lies.
God, no. It's also like so nice to have a hat right now because we're all, let's just be honest, we're all about a month and a half into our natural hair color.
It's okay.
Right now. So, you know. So this is our newest style Fedora hat. The Fedora hats that we had before are very Peruvian. And so I love them. I personally love, and Peruvian style hats are like giant Pharrell styled, oversized. They're just definitely, like, it's a statement, right? So our Fedora hats now, this one is hand shaped and has also been through the ringer with my luggage and coming out of the country, but we made them a little bit lower and we made the brim a little bit longer and flatter on the fedoras. So they're a little floppier, like our old fedoras. Do we have an old fedora there that you can show, Kelly, how they were? They were kind of like flipped up, the style of it. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, the old style fedora is, yeah. Do you see how tall it is? Put it on your head for a second. You'll see what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, there you go. So it's like extra tall, but I think it's rad. I like love it. It's literally my favorite thing, but a lot of people were like, yeah, not really feeling the extra tall.
And then even this one was a little tall too.
Yeah, but that's the Peruvian style. Like, so for them, like I said, the bigger the hat, the bigger the statement, and they are all about the Pharrell style. So we've taken their designs and we're kind of just toning it down a little bit, but I still love it. So anyway, I'm gonna switch back to this hat because my poor roots, man. Anyway, but I love the fedora, and I love that we have finally got those made, but they again all are in Peru right now. So once this lockdown lifts, we're gonna have a massive, awesome shipment and new bands and lots of fun stuff. So stay tuned. Anyway, so, but yeah, I honestly am really excited for our future pop-ups. I'm excited for us to be able to spread the word. You know, doing more films, doing more projects, exploring more places. Like Pat's and I, the next time I go down to Peru, we're definitely gonna go and seek out Ayacucho and a few other like places way far out in Peru that have hat makers and have other Quechua artisans and women to visit. It's amazing. Like I've been to Peru, I think 13 times now, and I still have yet to see so much there. It's unreal. So thanks, Kelly. Again, Kelly's doing the service of dressing room delivery. So she can literally bring you hats to try on, and you can see what colors and styles you want, and whatever you don't want, she'll take back. So
masks and gloves too, so that you're not scared.
Yeah, like socially distant hat delivery services.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Thanks, Kelly. All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining. I'm going to sign off on Instagram and then just stay on Zoom a little longer. But for those of you that want to join our Zoom call, you can just click on the link in my bio. All right, thanks. Okay. Cool. All right. Oh, hi, Tina. You have a new person on. How are you?
I'm just fine. Let's see. Start video. I won't be rude. Hi.
Oh, hey. Okay, yeah, we're like coming to the end of it. We've been filming this whole time. So if you ever want me to share the video with you, or I could just do like a personal little thing for you right now. Have you been?
Well, I'm curious. What are your goals of participating in this?
Our goals participating, honestly, we just want to be able to spread the story. I mean, selling hats is great. It's going to help support all the women and the Quechua artisans. But what we do when we do all of our pop-ups, normally our pop-ups are literally storytelling. Like I'm there talking about letting people touch the textiles, like learn about the meanings of the bands, learning about how the women make them, how we're supporting the Quechua artisans in Peru. Honestly, this entire 2 hours that I've been talking is just storytelling. So yes, will that hopefully translate into supporting the women? That would be great. But I think right now we might as well take advantage of COVID and be able to connect and storytell in ways that we hadn't thought of before.
Great. Have you been pleased with the response you've gotten and the traffic?
Honestly, I don't know because I'm doing both Instagram Live and Zoom simultaneously. So I definitely am seeing the streams of people coming through Instagram Live, but I don't know, I don't know how much traffic that is just yet. So, and I don't know if it's translating into sales or anything, but either way, like I just love that people can pop in and hear part of the story.
Sure. And now, did I hear you were trying to do somehow hat trying on over Zoom?
Yeah. So Kelly, that you can see in the background. So I'm in Miami. Kelly's actually in my home loft in Venice Beach, California.
Okay.
And so are you in California?
Yeah, I'm in LA. Okay,
cool. So we normally have a showroom here in Venice. And then the other, we do pop-ups around the US. Like we were supposed to do one at National Geographic headquarters in April, but that got canceled for quarantine or pushed till September. But basically now, just during quarantine and during COVID, we're doing where people want to try on the hats, we can have Kelly deliver multiple hats to you in different sizes, shapes, colors, and you can try them on and decide which one you like and return the rest and take back the rest. So because part of the experience, at least for these hats, is hard to buy when they're so handmade and the bands are so special that you almost like have to try on a few and see which one you like.
Yeah, and they all look very unique.
Yeah. I mean, we do have proper sizing. Like we do have, small, medium, large that are like 56 centimeters. I mean, the normal hat sizes, but we do find they're all handmade. So there are some variances on and if you have a band that's more tightly woven than another, it can cinch one hat slightly tighter than another. So they do breathe though. They are alpaca wool. But it is something where you might have 3 size large camel hats and one fits you slightly better than the other 2.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wish you all the luck in the world.
Thank you so much. Yeah, of course. Thanks, Tina. But anyway, so it's funny because like some people actually talk and some, just pass through.
So just like, hello.
I was like, called her out. I was like, what's your Tina? Anyway, she was very sweet. But yeah, so I mean, like I said, it's honestly with these pop-ups, like I'm bummed that we weren't able to do the pop-ups in BC. But I know we'll get to again when it reopens.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But what I love about it is this, like in one day you do this and like I am like repeating myself over and over and over, but at least people are like Danielle that are like, I don't look in hats. I'm not a hat person. And then they're like a loyal fan forever. No, for real. We have super fans. So we were part of an auction last week. It was a conscious business owner auction. And we donated one of the hats to the auction item. And the chick that won happened to be Peruvian. Which that happened. I mean, obviously she chose it probably because it's Peruvian. And then she won it and we shipped the hat, or you shipped the hat to her, Kelly. or you delivered it to her if you're the one in Studio City. And she left me this like 3-minute long message gushing about the quality of the hat, how she's so proud that we're like helping her people. She's a documentary filmmaker. She wants to like donate her time to do a documentary film on us, like anything we need. Like like massive super fan.
Did she take a picture and send it to you wearing it?
Not yet, because we like literally, but like we have a call scheduled for Monday.
Okay.
And she like literally wants to like talk to me for like an hour about how she wants to do a film about us, and it was just through, you know what I mean? And so you just kind of build these super fans, and because they believe in the product, and for me, it's like we were able to use this time, and okay, cool, we sell a few hats, and then but we could really reach some people that are super fans, and then like that's good, you know. So I feel happy with that. And recording this whole call, so this whole call is going to be like, we can play it back another time, because Lord knows we're not doing this again. I mean, I could, but shit, it's like only so many.
You've been talking nonstop.
I've been talking for 2 hours.
So it's a lot.
7 more minutes.
Yeah.
She's good at talking. She's good at talking.
But you know what? There's so many stories. Like I could tell even many more stories about our women's retreat and all the stuff that happened, and it was like hilarious. And
oh my gosh,
you know, like them dressing us in all the outfits. Like to this day, I have not graduated to like a proper married hat. You know what I mean? Because I'm not married. So every time I go to Peru, I have to wear like the knit cap or like the single chick hat. I'm like ready to graduate.
Okay. All the guys are eyeballing you as you walk down the street.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, you know. It's funny because even the chicks have a different hat if they're engaged. So like the single chicks have really, really amazingly ornate, colorful hats. And then when they get engaged, they're like still colorful, but like a little less. And then when they're married, they're like black. Black with a little bit of red and like no flowers and no embroidery. And you're like, okay, so that's like, she's like, lock them down. Don't need to worry about it anymore. No more.
This is the end of the life.
That's crazy. You're a walking advertisement. I'm single. Pick me.
Right? Would it be easy though if you could tell where somebody lived in their like single status based on their hat? It would make things a lot easier. If people were truthful, that is. Like if it was like
truthful.
Yeah, but I think I would say that I was wearing the married one.
You know what I mean? Like you'd see some guy walking outside and you'd be like, okay, that guy is definitely not married. Or like that guy is, or like, I don't know, he's wearing the single hat. Not cool.
He smuggled in a single hat when he's really married.
The single hats are not cute, by the way. They're like knit caps. It's like I mean, they are cute, but they're cute like if you're skiing and you're like 7 years old. You know what I mean? They're like, they kind of like have a knit thing with a big pom-pom at the end of it. You saw them. They use them as a pocket. Remember the guys use it as their wallet?
It's like a wallet on your head.
Imagine if you had like a stocking like Papa Smurf, but like in the bottom part of Papa Smurf, you could like use it as a wallet. That is what the single guy's hat looks like, and it's not cute.
Super attractive.
I would get married if I were a guy. I would get married just so I could wear the cool hat, like for real.
Killing it.
Like. Oh shit. All right, ladies. Well, thank you Danielle, you're a trooper. And your hair looks fabulous.
Right, Miss I don't like hats. You're right.
I know, right? Could you believe it? It took me like this long in life to discover.
I honestly feel really naked when I'm not wearing one.
You're always in a hat. You'll be in sweatpants and then still wearing a hat.
No, for real. I will wear it, and people like our big blue, electric blue Spanish one like you have, Danielle. I'll see people at a pop-up and they'll be like, when am I ever gonna wear this? I'm like, every day. It's so
every day.
Yeah. I wear it with it is a statement piece, but it's like if you just rock it and own it, everyone is like, damn, like how many times do people yell at you across the street? Or like make comments on your hats?
Mm-hmm. All the time. It's so funny. So we were in New Orleans for one of my best friend's bachelorette party, and I was like, I don't need this much attention. I mean, and of course you're in New Orleans and you're bar hopping, but everybody's like, where did you get that? Like, and I had to tell the story at least 15 times when we were out at one point. I'm like, I can't tell the story again. I mean, I will, but
I'm like, yes, you can. You have a trophy. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
I can do it. I can do it.
I'm gonna make trophies for my friends from now on, by the way. That it was like the easiest thing to do, and it was so fun.
I love it. You're like, have you received anything in the mail recently? I'm like, no, what should I be expecting something? You're like, yes, you should.
But no, even going back to like men, so at the pop-ups, we were surprised at how many men love the hats. And one guy bought a hat, and literally the next day he came over to me. It was that guy that was working Pat's at the place next to us, at the not the coffee place. Yeah, it was the oyster bar next to us at the pop-up. And he was like, I was walking my dog, and a woman literally ran from across the street and chased me down and was like, where did you get that hat? And I was like, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah. I've been in, especially for some reason, airports, like you just pass so many different people and from all over, right? And I was in line, the security line, and these two women, they were just like, oh my God, we love your hat and we need to know where to get it. It's like, it's just everywhere you go, whenever you wear it, it's always somebody has something to say, wants it. So very cool.
Well, awesome. Thank you, ladies, for joining in for the whole time. Pats, thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you for creating such a wonderful company, you guys.
That was amazing.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was good.
I love your brown hair.
She dyed it brown.
No, I dyed it for
blonde. You were a blondie.
We're just next level, and they're not going to open salons here for a really long time. So
You're just like, might as well.
No, I am having it in. Like, my roots are real. These are real.
The hats are so clutch during like meetings for work. I'm like,
oh yeah, just wear the hat.
Cover your roots.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, for real. I'm like, what? I'm not a brunette. I'm not a brunette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you're not a brunette.
All right, ladies. Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, honey.